What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. You would normally notice, okay, excuse the crust. You would notice that every time I shoot a video, I remove my glasses. So even if I don't see the camera, it's fine. It's simply because of the reflection of the, the reflection. Look at it. Can you see? So you end up not seeing my eyes, but that is fine. So this is an introduction video to the video. You've already seen the title, of course, that this is my video where I prep for my facilitation sessions with my students. So I got an email last week, I think, for reappointment, but for different module. Last semester, I was appointed as both facilitator as well as marker for one module, which is the law of delict, remember. I decided to move away from that after I was also approached by some of the lecturers, two of the lecturers. One is for criminal law and one was for constitutional law. I then had to decide which one am I going to choose between the two. It was a very difficult decision. But before I could even decide, I thought, because I don't want to disappoint, not necessarily disappoint both of them because they really believed in me and they approached me, so there should be something nice. I decided to do it this way because they both wanted me to facilitate the module. But then when I went down and sat down with the retrospect, for example, number one, the one is a semester module, the one is a year module. I'm not going to say which one is important than the other, doesn't matter, but I just looked at the content, the amount of work as well. So what I then did, I then told them, no, it's fine, I'll do this. So I decided, I wrote both of them emails, and luckily they didn't find a problem with it because at the end of the day, I didn't disappoint both of them. So I decided that I'm going to accept the appointment as facilitator for constitutional law and then accept the appointment as a marker for criminal law. Because number one, the marking for criminal law is less than the marking for constitutional law, but I do think I will still have to mark constitutional law as well. Doesn't matter. Criminal law is straightforward. If they want me to come and clarify anything, I can do that anytime. But I would like to fully commit to constitutional law in terms of teaching. So I accepted. I then got appointed for facilitation for constitutional law, which is a module I'm passionate about. So I thought, now let me do it. And I also have prospective interest in constitutional law. Then criminal law, I'm then marking. So this video is going to explore or show you what I do before my facilitation session. So I got my appointment last week and I'm very hands-on. I'm already sent emails, booked venues and everything. I do all my stuff on my own. I do not go back to the lecturer, go to the facilitation, the administrator and all of that. I do all of these things my own. I go there personally on my own. I'm very initiative. I'm really initiating. So I already got my venues. I already got the WhatsApp group. I opened the WhatsApp group. I shared it on all the third and second year module WhatsApp groups with the help of the student academic chapter for law faculty. So both these modules are second year modules, as well as delict was as well. So what was I saying now? Yeah, so I've got my WhatsApp groups, I've got the venues. I was added to their online Ifundi site. I think already sent 2 announcements by now. So my first class is on Monday. So they voted for times where everyone is going to be available, and the committed times are Monday and Friday. So I'm going to take you with to my Monday session. For now, I got a venue. I'm very worried because the people who joined the link are quite a lot, and the venue can take up to 90 people. I hope they will just have to stand if that's the case, but it's fine. But it can take up to 90 people, and the people that are already in the group is about 180 something. But we'll see how that goes. But that venue that I got for now is the venue that I got for next week. After next week, in fact, next week, a link will open for lecturers to start shooting for times again. And I've already informed the administrator that they should shoot for a certain specific venue that I prefer. So they will then do that on Monday when the link opens, and then that will be our venue should it be confirmed for the next week and so on. But for this week, we will be utilizing the venue that we were able to get. So I'm just busy with the. Where's my USB now? I was just busy with the. I'm going to show you maybe later on. Just wanted to do the introduction video to this video. I'm going to show you later on how I prep for my sessions. Unfortunately, I already did a lot of work because I wanted to study this weekend. So I already did my PowerPoint slides for Monday. I already did my introduction slides for Monday, edited it. I also did my attendance Google form link and transformed, and then I made it into a QR code for them to scan while they're in class to do the attendance so that I can fill in my attendance register. So with that being said, yeah, very interesting times. I thought let me take you with to my first session rather than saying no, I'll commit to taking you with somewhere in August, September, October, somewhere there. No, I don't want to do that. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video and you did excuse my crust. And yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's Sunday today. Just had breakfast now, watching a KSI video. It's gonna end soon. Then I want to start reading through my textbook. I already finished with my notes. I want to start studying. Then when I have a break, I'm going to take you through what I do, right? And then yeah, and then what I do when I prep for my classes, yes, and then yeah, and then I'll take you with me and see how it goes. And then tomorrow morning I'm gonna go write my test, and then I have 2 classes, and then I've got a break, then I'm gonna come back home, and then I'm gonna go to my class. So with that being said, continue watching and enjoying it. What's up, everybody? I have decided to make use of my old mic once again because I still am not able to find my new one. I don't know why, I don't know how. It's not in my laptop bag. Why is this in here? It's not here. I must just text one of the guys we went to Johannesburg with to attend the conference, because perhaps I left it in his car and he maybe didn't realize, or he realized but forgot to ask myself and the other guy who was going with him. So I just worked. So okay, let me before now, and this is not now relevant to this, but I'm going to speak about it. So I am supposed to start working at least on chapter 1 of my dissertation for next year, and as a result I have to submit by the end of this semester I must have submitted chapter 1 of my dissertation, which I'm going to continue with next year. Now I want to show you what I've worked on so far. I'm not going to tell you what the topic is until it gets approved, until I've got the sources. I like pronouncing things when they are in their final stage, or when they are done, or when there's clear direction. And I think I'm going to make a video where I speak about the conflicting views. I wanted to write, initially I was so strongly going to write about one, but now unfortunately I'm not going to be writing about that. I found another interesting one, which is even more interesting, because when I did the topic scoring, this one overweighs the other one, because in terms of this one I will not only have more sources to my disposal, but I will be able to argue a lot and so I just did my PDF, which is like a research proposal as to what I'm going to deal with. I dealt with the title of my dissertation, the abstract, which is what I'm going to be doing, what the proposal or the paper seeks to do, and then lastly also the research questions that I want to answer. So that is what I've been busy with now. After studying, I quickly took a break and did that because I have to submit something this week. Now moving on to my work. Now I want to show you what I've been busy with, and perhaps I'm going to change the camera to look this way so that I can show you my slides. So I am currently working on 4 documents for next week. Not for next week, in fact for tomorrow, for my first class. So let me just quickly turn it around and share with you what I have here. Right. So what do I have here? This is my presentation slides that I use every time when I start the semester with my new students. And with this, you would see that I have my introduction slide. Who am I? What am I doing? I removed what year I was. It used to be here. It's not really relevant, but yeah. Then how do they contact me? I'm going to blur that out hopefully because that's my student number. But you can, if you use that, you will be able to write me an email, whatever. So this is the email I want them to use when they write me any queries, but I'm always available during, not during, but on WhatsApp as well. Then email etiquette, I always speak about how I expect them to write me the emails. Sometimes people write emails not in a rude way. It might not be intentional, but it might be misread by myself on the other hand. It might seem very demanding, very not demanding per se, but very entitled or whatever. So I always speak about how I expect them. I like, for example, I don't expect them to say hello, prof. I'm not a professor. I don't have a PhD yet, so I don't expect that from them. So I always speak about that and how they can be cool as long as they just seem very polite. They can even ask ChatGPT, and this is just one of my favorite quotes. They can even ask ChatGPT to write the thing for them, the email for them, to be very polite. My favorite quote: if you want to make crime pay, become a lawyer. And then my responsibilities as tutor and facilitator: provide tips on how to master topics, prepare for your assessment, tests, and exams. And then as a marker as well, I'll be marking class tests, formal assessment tests, and then as well as their exams. So then I ask for any questions. And then I had a lot of, which I later, when you create slides and you say, okay, I'm going to add this, and then you go out, after 30 minutes you come back, and then your other personality kicks in, and you're like, oh no, I'm not going to do that, that's a bit too much. So yes, let me just fix here. It's actually good that I'm looking at this now. Let's quickly remove this. Okay, it was in capital letters. Let's continue with that first. Good. So let's quickly save. So that's the first one I have to be. I'm going to start my presentation tomorrow with this, of course. Then just before we get into the crux of the work that we're going to be covering, I will then do my another introduction, which I've created with Gamma. It's a very useful tool. Sharp. It's a very useful tool for it helps you create PowerPoints. So I just asked it. It's almost like an AI, but it allows you to add stuff as well. So here you would say, I added my name. I welcome them to the course of constitutional law, the objectives of the course structure, learning objectives, and hands-on approach. Because I want to really, this is constitutional law, a very much important field, and a very field that is very interesting to me. Hence, I'm teaching it now. So I will then want them to be very hands-on this year. For example, we're doing a lot of practical examples, worksheets, for them to be able to get the best marks if they could. And then key principles and concept of constitutionalism. You would know the supremacy of the Constitution. That's section 2 of the Constitution. I didn't add it there because section 2 of the Constitution should be there daily, but they should have known that from the beginning of the year. Section 2 accompanied and read together with section 172, which is the order of validity, which is step 1 would be section 2, which says every law in this land that is inconsistent with what the Constitution says is not law and is inconsistent with it. It ends there. And then step 2 is section 172, which then says after you have made the determination that the law is inconsistent with the Constitution in terms of section 2, you must then take it upon yourself to then make an order of invalidity by means of making an application to court. So in section 2, it is when the court looks at the provision and says this provision is inconsistent with the Constitution, and as a result we find it unconstitutional. But then steps 2, which is 170, which is section 172, takes it a bit further and says after you've made that determination as step 1, which is section 2, you must make step 2, which is section 172, which deals then with the fact that you have now, after you've made that determination, also pronounce it as being illegitimate and being unconstitutional. Separation of powers, separation of powers, we look at the element or the principle of trias politica, which is the executive, legislative, and the judiciary, which are the spheres of government. Rule of law, no one is above the law, and then the importance of human rights, some fundamental rights, and you can also look at international law for example, the Human Rights Convention, etc. The role of the Constitutional Court, we then look at the Constitutional Court's role, who sits in the Constitutional Court, judicial review, what is the powers of the Constitutional Court in terms of Section 167. Now, all of these sections I didn't put here because I know them, but I also want them to be able to initiate. For example, if I come to the slide, I must be able to ask, where does the Constitutional Court get its power or mandate in terms of the Constitution? And they must then be able to tell me it comes from Section 167 of the Constitution, and I will then ask someone to read it for us, and we will go further from there. Understanding the Bill of Rights, very important. The different categories of rights, we call them first, second, and third generation of rights. The ones are green, the one is blue, I think, and the one is red, whatever. But this is not that. These are not the three generations of rights, but these are essentially the categories, the very big categories. Then we'll also look at federalism and the division of powers. We don't conform to federalism in South Africa. We've got a constitutional sovereignty. So I'm just trying to show them federalism so it can be able and easy for them to, in fact, distinguish between our law and that which is at least practice in other countries. Then you look at the interpretation and application of the Constitution. For this, for interpretation, you will look at Section 39 as a whole, but particularly 39.2, which deals with the fact that you must, in your interpretation of the law, give credit to customary law, the obligation that is put on the courts to develop constitutional law in terms of also using customary law and common law, the development of common law. And then also the interpretation of international law, which is 39.1b, I think. Yes, I'm very sure it's 39.1b. You would see I do not put these sections here because I want to show them that it's important to not only to cram these sections, but you must know and be able to apply what the sections say. You don't have to say what the section says verbatim. We would not expect that from you, but you want to be able to tell us what Section 2 of the Constitution says in your reasoning or in your words. Then application of the Constitution, you look at Section 8, which is Section 8 is application, which then looks at 8.1, horizontal or vertical. 8.2, I cannot remember as I'm sitting here exactly, but I know 8.1, I think it's vertical, and then 8.2 is then horizontal. What do I mean? 8.1 then basically says this is where the state it's matters between the state and legal subject, which is vertical, and then 8.2 is horizontal application of the Bill of Rights or the Constitution itself, where you look at the legal subjects against legal subjects. So an 8.1 example would be where it's a criminal matter, where it's state versus Mazibuko, for example, whereas with 8.2, when it's horizontal, it's a legal subject against a legal subject, you can have Bizani versus Mandela or something like that, right? Then you look at the current issues in constitutional law. We'll talk about land reform, affirmative action, and environmental rights. We might also speak about the new GNU whatsoever and the focalistic and development. How will it develop constitutional framework and whatsoever? I mean, there are debates that we are aware of that some people want the constitution to be scrapped, and some of them want the constitution to be rewritten or readjusted whatsoever. It's fine. Then we're going to do a practical exercise and case study in class. And then we're going to speak about resources. Example, they must use the prescribed textbook. They must use case law, explore rulings and opinions of the Constitutional Court, especially the cases that are prescribed for them, but I will always tell them what these cases are. I don't know if they are into this, but I love reading academic articles because they give you a way of thinking of these things. And then government resources would of course be any kind of legislation, including gazetted legislation. And then this is just their link for attendance after, to show that they have attended my class. And then, did I change some things? Did I? Maybe I did. Okay, that's fine. Then these are the slides that I'm going to use for study unit 8, which is what we're going to be dealing with. And study unit 8 deals with the introduction to and application of the Bill of Rights. So I remembered it as it's study unit 8. It's chapter 8 in the textbook, I think, and then it is also section 8 of the Constitution. So I couldn't forget that. So that is what we're going to be looking through, and very important provisions of the Constitution. I think, this video is very long. It's almost 10 minutes. I apologize for that. But this is halfway through what is going to be happening tomorrow. I'll show you more. Maybe later on, share something with you and whatever. Maybe show you how I track my attendance, the Google form, and all of that. But for now, this video is 10 minutes and it's very long. But with that being said, I hope you keep on enjoying this video and is excited as I am for my session tomorrow with my students. Thank you. What's up, everybody? I'm back again. I quickly want to let me hold this. I quickly want to show you. The process of how do I take my attendance, and that will then be the last video for today. In fact, the last video of the vlog. However, or this video, and then however, I'm going to add a little bit or a little piece of my class session tomorrow. I'll try to. As I've told you, I'm not that confident yet. I'm still very, I'm not a very confident content creator yet. It's still weird for me to start shooting. I'm sorry, I know that's not healthy, but let's try an ASMR or what? Okay, so let me turn the video around quickly once again. Right, so let's quickly go to what I do. Okay, let's see. My old department is still showing their stuff. I don't know. I never changed it. Right, so this okay, I hope you can see. Let's quickly open Google Forms. So that is where I keep my facilitation sessions, right? So these are information, but I want to show you something else as well. So our employer, of course, the university, let's see. The university sends us attendance lists like this. So right, you're going to put in here your details, your student number. Then you're going to put each student that attends your session. So if this was for April, for example, you're going to, sorry for that, put the student number of the student here, student name, student surname, the gender, the race, the signature date. But not all of these things I ask. For example, I don't ask the race. So this is a digital platform that is allowed and open for me. Like, my students don't have access to this. So then what do? I then make an alternative Google form like this. I make them come every time I make them shoot that that QR code. It takes them here. They'll put in their name here, their surname, their student number, and then their gender, and then I make them rate the sessions of how it was. Did they enjoy the session or not? So I have this for each and every session. Then this link, I will just then, after they've filled this in, come here and link the open to Sheets. So if you open it to Sheets, it takes you to a Google Sheet which will show you exactly the names. Then I copy all of those names vertically down, the student numbers, and I come and print and paste them here. Then it goes down, student name, student surname, student gender, and then I put in, for example, for tomorrow, for example, let's quickly put it in already. Okay, now I don't have to put, but what I would then ordinarily do, I will come and say the session starts, for example, at 1 o'clock, right? Then it ends, let's say, for example, 14:15. Then it asks how long the session is. Then it will show 1 hour 15 minutes, right? Then you go off. Then yeah, we'll tally, and then if I start now with my session on Friday, I'll just skip one line and have the Friday one start here, because this whole thing is for 1 month. So then this is how I do it, right? And then it links to this. So that is how I keep and track attendance. What else is there that I wanted to show you? I don't think there's anything else. But with that being said, that is just how I keep track of it. Sometimes I even open, if I have an online session, I don't use the QR code. Then I use, not necessarily I don't use a QR code, I then rather use Google Sheets. So this is very tedious, and you can imagine if I were to do it by hand. Thus, I don't do it by hand. I just do the QR code and then they fill it in. It makes it easier for me to fill that thing in, because we can't find people, or I don't have someone who can fill that in for me. And already preparing for classes already is a lot of admin on its own. So yeah, I think I've showed you everything. Might not have been as jubilated as it should be, not as exciting as it should be, but I've always wanted to show a video where I show you how I prepare for my sessions, because people like saying I appear very on my sessions. Some of my friends have once attended them, and they say everything is so planned out nicely, everything is prepared and everything, because I do it before, way in advance. So yeah, with that being said, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the last bit of this video, and bye bye. What's up, everybody? At least I'm not that tired. But the time now is 6:53. I'm writing at 7:30. I'm planning on leaving my place at 7:10. I'm writing international law as I've indicated previously, and then I'm going to come back. I don't have, so my timetable is as such that I have international law, law of evidence, contract law. So we don't have law of evidence this week. Our lecturer is graduating with his doctorate, so we will not be having class this week, and I think today is his birthday as well. But nonetheless, we will then I will then head to contract law. After contract law, I'll come back because then I have a break to come and gather and get my stuff to go then to my class. My class then is at 1 o'clock. I'm quite excited for that, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, I wanted to check something, I remember now. But with that being said, the vlog is almost over. It ends today, and I'm hoping I can download it today, and yeah. 1 hour later, but at least we're done. Wasn't bad. Oh, sorry, there was someone walking behind me, so I switched off the camera. By the way, you won't hear me clearly because I don't have the mic now, but I'm on my way to my residence. I'll be there in probably a minute. The test was fair, the test was fine. I'm just including this here because I'm decided to title the video both preparation for my classes or sessions as a facilitator, but also to speak about my upcoming international law case test, which is one of my core modules. So yeah, done. What's up, everybody? I just came from my session now. I forgot my I forgot my tripod at home, so I couldn't shoot any content while I was teaching. So this then concludes the vlog for today. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I also wrote my test in the morning. I'm quite tired, but I still have some stuff to do. I've got class and I'm going to attend an event somewhere. And then yeah, hope you enjoyed the video.